Dan talked about how positive it was for you guys to get a couple weeks off and be able to get away from the program for a few days. How have you seen that manifest itself, and what's been the vibe like once coming back with the team?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, first and foremost, I think my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But that off week that we had, that Dan gave us was like it was crucial. I feel like just looking back, some things we can learn from last year and what we poured in this year. That off week really had us get prepared and take off all that toll off our body. So it was pretty cool that Dan can, and that's why I really love Coach Dan. He's ready to adapt, execute some things.
Back row, Matt.
Dan said after the Indiana game that you guys didn't have any more wiggle room for mistakes. There were no opportunities for a loss to make the playoff. How do you feel like going through that experience is going to help you now in a situation where it is a playoff and you do lose, you go home? How's your team handled that?
I mean, yeah, we had it with great respect. Obviously, Indiana was a great team. We took that as a lesson, and we're gonna learn from that. And right now, our main thing is to win, obviously, but we're just gonna be focused on whatever we got to do to prepare for James Madison.
You're on the left, third row.
Curious, kind of a similar question, but what you guys learned from the experience of going through the playoff and kind of having an extended break last year, and what's that been like this year with a group that is a little bit younger, even if they've gone through a full season, they're not just freshmen anymore.
Sorry, say that again.
So just what's the experience been like? What have you taken from going through an extended break last year before the playoff game? What have you taken that into this year, especially with a group that is maybe a little bit younger than the one you guys had last year?
Just having that fire, not letting off, coming off, having that long break, kind of, a lot of us, probably you can tell that probably there's some complacency in it, but this year we kind of had that factor. Yeah, we got this off week, but we got to make sure we still have that fire. We're still doing things that we can get better off the field while we're not in the facility.
Right behind him, Isaac.
I'm not sure how deep into film prep you guys are, but I'm curious, what are your early impressions on James Madison's front seven?
I mean, obviously James Madison, they're a great team. Respect to them, they made it to the top, 12 best teams in the college football. So, you're just seeing how much they're able to move. They're not the biggest guys we ever played, but you can tell that they play elite technique. So, it's up to us that we got to play great technique and fundamentals and being elite with what we have.
Front left, Zach.
You guys obviously aren't in this for individual accolades, but when four of you guys get AP All-American honors, you among them, what does that mean to you? I mean, there's bigger goals at work, obviously, but that's not nothing.
I mean, obviously, it all comes from my Lord and Savior, all the blessings He poured upon me, and also goes to my teammates. We've been putting in hard work since the moment we all got together, since January. We talk about, that Iron Fist is one of our team this week, just how much time we've been, practicing everything from from winter to spring and into summer and into fall camp. So it's not just me, it's a team thing, My accolades didn't just come from myself, it's all 11 guys on the field.
Your next one, James.
What stands out about number 15 for them? It seems like they line him up a lot on the edge, but also inside to create a lot of pass rush and stops in the backfield. What stands out about him?
A great player, like you said, he's a great pass rusher. He has some good moves to it, but we're just gonna take some time, watch some film on him. When we battle, we're gonna do what we got to do.
Back row, Matt.
You've watched Bo operate. You played right next to Dylan, and now with Dante. How do you feel like Dante's handled the growth that he's gone through this season and going from a highly respected quarterback to now maybe, if he wants to, a top 5 pick in next year's draft? How have you kind of seen him grow?
Yeah, just seeing him, obviously me and Dante's in the same class and seeing the mentality and the role and the leadership that he's taken with Dylan leaving this past year and him coming and stepping in and being that quarterback for us, like, it's great. You can tell last year he was just watching and learning from Dylan. And you can see how much he's been pouring in and he's been learning. And there's things that he probably wish he could get back, but he grows from it like you talked about.
Pancho, we're going to go to the Zoom. Max.
Oh.
Hey, Pancho, November was a big month for you guys. Faced a couple injuries along the offensive line, yourself included, missed a little bit of time. What's been key for you as far as an offense, finding your guys' rhythm to be playing your best ball going to the playoff?
I mean, just, at the end of the day, it don't matter who's on the field. We trust anybody that go on the field, especially for the offensive line room. Obviously, you talked about, there's been a lot of injuries, amongst the guys. So at the end of the day, we prepare everybody. It don't matter who it is, whether you're 1, 2s, or 3s, anybody that goes on the field from the law firm standpoint, they go in and do their job.
Front row, James.
Following with that, Pancho, the offensive line has been a Joe Moore Award finalist year after year. And you guys always talk about that. That's first goal when you guys go in the room saying, Joe Moore. Whether you win it or not this year, how do you feel as the leader of this room that this group showed something different than the past couple of years because of the injuries, where the volume of depth across that's had to be showcased this year is just more than the past couple of seasons?
Yeah, I mean, you pointed out that the depth that we have in the room, and like I was just saying, like just being able to have guys be able to step up when guys go down speaks a lot of volume to what it means to be an offensive line. It's not just us starting five; it's everybody in that room plays a factor into that Joe Moore Award. So, no matter what it is, I love my guys, and we know who we are. We the law for them.
Anyone else for Pancho? Nope. We're good. Thank you, Pancho.
Appreciate you.